being a chosen one. Everybody not willing to neglect or fast from whatever they have to fast from, when it come down to being, or neglect whatever they have to neglect when it come down to being a chosen one. Family, friends, associates. A lot of chosen ones, they complain about being alone and stuff like that. Like how much, how lonely they are. But that's where your power is as a chosen one. A lot of chosen ones, they don't really understand that. They just kind of talk about how they're alone and stuff like that. But that's what it if that's what it takes to level up, if that's what it takes to better yourself, even the things that you eat, you might have to neglect it. Everybody not ready to make the sacrifices to being a chosen one. And I'm not saying that you're gonna always be alone, but a lot of times you will, and you have to just, like I said, man, I'm comfortable with being alone. It's a lot of people that's not comfortable, with being alone. I've been practicing being alone for a long time before I even became a YouTuber. So it doesn't affect me like that. I'm naturally an introvert. I'm more of an introverted person. So I was never too much like a person that, a party person like that. I was never too much of that. But like I said, man, I do like every now and then go out on the weekend and stuff like that. Yeah. But the majority of the time, I'm tapped in. A lot of people, when it comes down to a chosen one, it costs a lot. You might even have to neglect your own dad, your own mom, your own brother. Because they don't understand. Or because they are in the way. Or because they're trying to create blockage between the God that's within you and you. You have to go within. You have to go within a lot of times as a chosen one and figure things out. It's going to take a lot of shadow work. It's going to take a lot of pain. It's going to take a lot of suffering. It's going to take